I'd like to introduce Donald Karatko, who hails from the University of Indiana, Bloomington. Dr. K is a professor of entrepreneurship and has authored over 180 articles and 28 books in his long career. He's received many awards in the field of entrepreneurship, including being selected one of the top entrepreneurship professors in the United States by Fortune magazine. Dr. K is also a co-founder of the Global Consortium of Entrepreneurship Centers, and he will now give you an overview of GCEC. Welcome.
Long career to age me very quickly there. I'm here to give a little bit of the historical background of GCEC because we've got some really good keynote speakers coming after me. But Jeff thought it'd be a really good idea. We've never really done this before. For a lot of our new members, and even for some of our veterans, don't really know how this organization really got started and what it was based on. So if you look at our mission or our purpose, we always say the GCEC purpose, we have this on the website, is to foster the mutual pursuit of excellence among university-based entrepreneurship centers the world over. That's kind of our simple tagline that we have. But the question becomes, how did we get there? I don't think we started out with that in mind. So the actual story is that in 1996, Rudy Limon from the University of Maryland, Tom Amalia from the University of Southern California, and myself were doing some work at the Kauffman Foundation in the early days when Mickey Slaughter and Ray Smiler were running the things on the university-based side. And as we were out there talking together, there were just a few of us, maybe about 8 or 10 of us from different centers around the United States, we started talking about the value there might be in sharing best practices. So it was at that time that we decided, and Rudy Limon actually suggested we would go to the University of Maryland and start maybe having some kind of a collaborative effort of center directors to get together. And the reason we thought of this was because we had the Academy of Management and because we had USASB, and they were doing their thing as far as presenting papers and teaching pedagogy and the things that were going on, it seemed like there was a gap as these centers were beginning to emerge and grow for a place to share those best practices. So that's really where we came up with the idea. And so in 1997 at the University of Maryland, we had the first, I guess we'd say, official conference. And as Rudy and Tom will remember, there was really only about 10 or 12 of us sitting around sharing best practices, which was great. But we began to realize that if we were going to continue to do this, of what value was going to be each year if we're still speaking to just each other. And we also recognized the fact that across the United States at the time, there was this growth, this movement, as the dean told us this morning. We saw the movement a lot earlier. This movement was starting, and centers were beginning to grow and prosper. So we decided that maybe it's a chance to start to open up and invite more schools. So in 1998, we were back again at the University of Maryland, and we opened up to more schools. So we had maybe, Rudy could correct me, but maybe about 24, 25, I can't remember, Rudy, something like that attended that year. And it seemed to be schools were asking us a lot of questions, and we started to realize maybe this is a venue that could be providing the answers to a lot of these schools. So in 1999, the University of Southern California decided they would host it, and we would open up to 35 schools. So we opened up to 35 schools. And we were pretty amazed that while we were sharing best practices, which was very good, we were starting to see that there was this gap being filled by having this type of gathering of center directors. So that is when we decided to make the movement to officialize it and call it the National Consortium of Entrepreneurship Centers. We thought there's probably a need if we can have an actual organization that would be formed around this forum that we were starting to put together. So in 2000, Ball State University hosted the conference, and we did at that time the official kickoff of the name and what we were going to be calling the organization. And at that time, I think we had about 75 schools in attendance at that conference for the original kickoff, 70 or 75. I'm not sure that Rudy or Tom or I ever dreamed back then what this was going to sort of explode into. Maybe that's really part of this whole movement in entrepreneurship. But today, I think I speak for Rudy and for Tom that we're very proud of what this is actually molded into. There's a lot of legacy stories that have gone on over the years that sometimes I just think myself, Rudy, Tom, and a few of the older veterans kind of remember. And I hope in some ways we can continue to share the stories with even a lot of our newcomers. But I will tell you that I thought the organization was going to die in 2001. I was actually convinced, as a matter of fact, we probably weren't going to survive because we had scheduled a conference at Wake Forest University. and it was actually scheduled about 5 days after 9/11. And Stan Mandel, I'm sure, is in the audience, and Stan knows this very well, that there was a very pivotal point in this organization's career, if you will, or longevity at that moment. Because if you all recall, the planes were grounded. And even when they did let the planes fly, everybody was a little bit afraid. Nobody wanted to jump on a plane and be the first to try it out to see what was happening. So Stan called me up and said, "What do you think? What do we do? I mean, this has just been a horrendous time." And we talked it over, and Stan said, "I'm ready to go with it if you are." And I said, "Let's do it. Whoever shows, shows." And it was amazing. People did get on planes. People drove enormous distances that didn't want to be on planes and took cars. And it was an incredible success. And I think Stan and I both realized right then and there, and Rudy and Tom, that this organization has got a stronger meaning, even at a time of national disaster, that meant something to people. That was a real turning point, at least for me, I think for Stan, for Rudy, for Tom, to realize this organization has really got its place. And it's got something deep inside that people want. So that's just a little legacy story, I think, of where the turning point came. And then as you see on the list sometimes of the schools, we went on from Wake Forest to Babson College in 2002, TCU in 2003, the University of Portland hosted in 2004. In 2005, we were at North Carolina Chapel Hill. In 2006, Northern Kentucky University with the University of Cincinnati and the University of Dayton did a coalition effort, which was a fabulous Midwest conference. In 2007, Syracuse University hosted. In 2008, the University of Arizona hosted. And it was at that time, from 2007 to 2008, we began to realize that this movement that the dean talked about earlier was starting to take place across the entire globe. And so it was suggested then, why are we a national consortium when in fact this movement really affects the entire globe? And so we decided that in 2007 that we would change the name to the Global Consortium of Entrepreneurship Centers. And at the University of Arizona is where the new logo and the new name was actually launched. So historically, that's exactly where it took place. And we said, now we will try to reach the entire global community with this organization. In 2009, we went to Rice University and had probably one of our largest conferences ever in the history of the organization. And I think it made us realize this thing is starting to grow like an emerging venture is truly starting to grow and take root. In 2010, we went to the Penn State University. In 2011, we were at the University of Southern California, back there. Hadn't been back since 1999. This year, as you know, we're right here at Georgetown University, having a great conference, thanks to Jeff and his team. Thank you very much for a fabulous venue. And next year in 2013, we'll be at Wichita State University. And I should tell you this, that we will also be, I think, is Rebecca White here? Rebecca there, she's way in the back. Rebecca will be doing a session with Jeff. Is it tomorrow, Jeff? You guys are doing that? Talking about taking proposals for 2014 and 2015 for schools at your host place that you might like to host this conference. But they're going to do an information session, so if you're interested, please go there and listen in on how these conferences are run and why it does bring a lot, I think, prestige to your campus and obviously helps a lot of us as well from the organization side of things. So just wanted to put that plug in there so you would know. So we've come a long way historically, and there's been a lot of great things, and I think each and every conference director at each and every one of the schools could probably tell you some pretty interesting stories of things that went on in that particular year at their particular campus. In a lot of ways, what we try to do, as you'll see here at Georgetown, is what Jeff has tried to do. We try to make sure that the conference is customized a bit to the school. They pick the theme. They put the program together with certainly suggested help, but they try to put it and build it and mold it around something where they can showcase their center and their university or their initiative, as they're doing here at Georgetown. So I think that's why we've kept it special. We've had questions in the past, why don't you move it to a city? Like, why don't we start just going to Los Angeles and have it at the Marriott or something? Why don't we get on to Florida and go to Orlando and have it at a hotel there? And we entertained some of those questions. But we decided, no, that's what the other conferences do. That's what the academic conferences do. They go to cities. I'm there. I'm at the academy every year. We go to USASB, right? We all know that. We attend those. This was built on a different premise. This organization was built really on the heart and soul of center directors. This organization was built by them and for them so that we could have something special. So I think that's what we've done. And that's why we will continue to stay university-based. Our conference will stay on a university campus, even though it's hard logistically to get it all done. And I always feel for the conference directors and their team with what they have to do. But it stays special. And it stays amongst all of us in the spirit of what we're trying to create at all of our schools. So I thank all of you for being here. I thank Jeff and his team for a fabulous conference this year, as we'll all see as we are involved in this. And I also want to just take one last minute to thank our Leadership Circle schools that Jeff alluded to. They are the schools that provide funding for the central office so that we can continue to grow this organization and do more things. So for Babson College, for Baylor University, Florida State University, Georgetown University, Oklahoma State University, Penn State University, Rice University, Texas Christian University, UCLA, the University of Iowa, the University of Maryland, the University of Southern California, Ball State University, and Indiana University, I thank those schools because it shows you the belief they have in this organization and its future. So I hope all of you will take this to heart. And remember this, we're still an emerging venture. We're still a growing organization. We need your young blood. We need you to help us mold this for what it's going to be in 10 years. I don't want to see us out of business in 10 years. I want to see the Global Consortium, one of the most powerful organizations across the world, run by and for entrepreneurship directors. Thank you all.